Good evening, Windsor. It is Thursday, April 2nd, and this is our evening COVID-19 update. Just to start us off with the numbers as published at 11:30 this morning, we had exceeded 8,000 cases in the state of Florida. So again, another significant increase. I think the final increase count yesterday was 1,100 new cases in that 24-hour period. Again, of alarm is the increase in deaths up to 128 from, I believe, 101. Also, when I look at the numbers, it does appear that previously we saw about 10% of individuals that end up with confirmed COVID-19 that go into the hospital, about 10%. The disease process would prove fatal for them, whereas that number is now looking more like 12% with the updated death toll. That said, I wanted to drill a little bit more down into the local cases. So 153 cases in Osceola County. And of those 153 cases, we still have 3 documented in Celebration, but we have 106 of those 153 cases that are in Kissimmee, so just around the corner. So that is close to home, too close for comfort if you ask me. Neighboring Orange County, unfortunately, continues to skyrocket in the number of confirmed cases. I think it was just yesterday or the day before we reported their 300th case. Today I'm reporting that they have hit the number 500. So that is not looking great for Orange County. Again, we continue to take this virus very seriously with the varying strategies and tactics, restrictions that we've put in place here at Windsor, both within the community as well as on the property. We continue to appreciate the cooperation of the many residents and family members that continue to adhere to the stringent requirements at this time, but I think many of us understand and know that it is for the health and safety of the community in the face of such an ugly pandemic. So we're just going to go through a handful of items for this evening, and then I will let you get on with your regularly scheduled programming. So, just a reminder, it isn't news to anyone that Osceola County has been under a stay-at-home order for the last almost 2 weeks now. That said, the state of Florida is now going under a statewide stay-at-home order as issued by emergency order by Governor DeSantis, and that goes into effect at 12:01 tonight. So as of 12:01 tonight, the local order that was in place will cover the entire state. So in that order, they do further stipulate what essential means. So as I've mentioned previously, aside from essential medical visits and prescriptions, which can be brought into the community, there is not much that anyone should really need that can't be either brought into the community, delivered to the community, but residents should not have to go out for goods and services, again, with the exception of essential medical visits, okay? So pharmacies can be delivered via U.S. mail. If it's mail order, they can be delivered by Turner Drugs. They can be delivered by Guardian Pharmacy, okay? Thank you to the residents who over the last several days have increased their communication and just dialogue with us about, do we think this is essential? Do we not think this is essential? And really having good conversation about those things. Just a real indicator that we are all in this together and we all want to be on the same page as we all have the same goal, which is to get through this COVID-19 pandemic. So thank you for the residents on that. But again, statewide stay-at-home order as of 12:01 tonight. again, with a special, we'll say part of the order indicating that those individuals age 65 and older should stay at home, period, okay? Unless it is 100% essential, those individuals 65 and older should not be going out. They should be doing everything within their power to reduce the risk for transmission of the COVID-19 virus. And we are hopefully helping you do that. And we are committed to helping our residents that are in that category maintain their health and safety. That also means we are working hard to make sure that you do not need to depend on individuals in the outside community, whether it's family or friends, to deliver food and other goods, etc. We've created the grocery program. We've got some alternate pharmacies, etc. There's not much that we can't get here at Windsor to help sustain you for the duration of this event, because even many of the adult children that have parents or loved ones here at Windsor are also in that age group of 65 or older. So we also want them to be mindful of their health and safety. So that is the stay-at-home order. Just a note on the grocery program. As I mentioned last night, the grocery program has been very successful. We did our next set of deliveries today. Next order will be fulfilled on Monday and Thursday of next week. We have added some additional items. I think I saw Coke Zero, some orange soda, some peanut butter crackers, garbage bags, some cleaning products, etc. So again, really from soup to nuts, soup to literal nuts, we have it covered on the in-house grocery program. We do have a long list of suggestions that we are evaluating for implementation as well. So feel free to use that program. Pretty much all the categories are represented. Again, we have to remind ourselves that it's a global emergency, right? So we might be used to drinking 1% milk, but we've got 2% milk on the shopping list. And, you know, is that something you can deal with for a short period of time, such that we can reduce the potential interactions here at the community and therefore reduce the potential risk to our residents of getting the COVID-19 virus. So again, the list is pretty well-rounded, pretty inclusive. Again, I, like the residents, are having meals here at the community, and there is no shortage of food, that's for sure. I heard one of the residents today, it was National Peanut Butter and Jelly today, and Kelly and the food and beverage team surprised residents with a little, here Cece, can you hand me one of those so everybody can see all of our families at home? Just for fun, between lunch and dinner service, food and beverage went to every resident's door for National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day, and just because delivered everybody peanut butter cookie and what looks like a top-notch peanut butter and jelly sandwich, which I will be enjoying in my room later by myself, and some popcorn. So just for fun. But anyway, when they knocked on one of our residents' doors, she came to the door and she said, please, no more treats. So again, we're definitely aren't underfed. So just be mindful of that. There is no shortage of things here. So made me laugh, and knowing that resident coming to the door, it gave me a good giggle. Speaking of going to resident rooms for room service, so we have many different residents here in the community of many different, we'll call it functional levels. Many residents are extremely independent and don't need any assistance, and then we do have some residents, particularly in the village community, that do need more assistance. So we are kind of on a case-by-case basis as we deliver the room service, evaluating the need of the level of assistance that individual needs. So for our residents that are independent or at a high functional level, our goal is to drop off the meal delivery at the door, okay? Our goal is to restrict or limit is probably the better word. We want to limit the number of individuals that are going in and out of any residence apartment, anywhere in the community. Because again, we still have staff that are coming going in each day, and even taking the most precautions, the utmost precautions that they can take, they still interact with family. Some still have spouses that are going to work, might have to stop at the gas station and get gas or whatever that is. So there is risk there. So that's why we continue to try to limit employees going in and out of resident apartments. That's why we're still limiting housekeeping in the club residences to a very limited, as needed level of service, because the more people that are in your apartment, the more risk we have for transmission. And right now, that's the safest place, is in your home that only you have been in, or that a limited number of people have been in. That's the safest place for you right now. So again, the goal is to kind of drop the food, have a little chat, but we really are trying to keep staff from going in any apartments that they don't need to. Now, that's not to say we don't have plenty of residents that do need a little additional assistance or a lot additional assistance, and we are assisting those residents as appropriate. But again, for those residents that can manage getting the meal into the apartment, etc., we ask you to please do that, and that is the reason we are doing it. It's not because we want to drop and run and we don't want to spend time. It's just because the goal here is to limit that exposure. Okay. Let's see. Looking at my notes. Still working through the hand-to-hand drop-offs, as we're calling them, between 9 and 11. As some of you may have noticed today, we did make some changes with the location of where the valet is. The valet has moved from the front of the village community under the porte cochere out to beyond the fountain. Okay, and the goal is to screen visitors as they're coming on campus to make sure that they should be on campus, and to make sure that deliveries are getting triaged as appropriate, whether it's a grocery Instacart ship delivery between 9 and 11, or it's the FedEx or the Amazon driver, whatever, that is going to go to the loading dock. So we're managing traffic flow there, but we are essentially trying to limit, again, the interactions. You know, family members are dropping things off and residents are going out front just wanting to catch a glimpse of that family member, and sometimes jeopardizing that that 6-foot social distancing that we're working so hard to keep in place. So Max and Alex are kind of triaging there, and there will, as we move forward tomorrow, during key hours of the day, there will also be a member of the leadership team there with them to provide support and make sure that we have enough hands on deck as deliveries are coming in, making sure that they get put in the right direction, that deliveries are getting made within a reasonable amount of time, specifically during that 9 to 11 time period when there might be groceries, some cold or frozen items, and then during shift change as well. So we are again trying to be very mindful of that. Our goal is to ensure that all employees are masked up before they walk into the community at any given time. So by us pushing out a bit, we feel that we have a little bit more control over the coming and going of the community. In fact, we are going to be, you know, there's a number of us staying here on site. Myself, Cece, Glenn, Linda, Jorge, Ashley, we are all actually going to be starting to take an hour shift at night between 10:30 and 11:30 for the incoming night shift, to make sure that they are screened out on the far outside of the building, to again ensure that anybody that could be running a temperature or not meet any of our screening criteria, we want to make sure we're getting them before they come into the building. Previously, the concierge was managing that, but I think we just all feel better if that was further out from the front door. So that will be starting tonight. So if you see one of us odd ducks running around the property in our pajamas, there is a reason. There's a reason why. Okay. Let's see. Again, though, I do want to point out the goal is to limit the number of deliveries to the community. We as a company are reducing our vendor usage. So we're trying to order more from individual vendors. So we're trying to order more from Cisco, right? So we've got a bread vendor, a seafood vendor, a meat vendor, a dairy, like we've got all these vendors, right? Our goal is to further narrow the number of vendors so that there's fewer deliveries. Again, fewer opportunities for interpersonal transactions, as I'm kind of calling them, right? The fewer people that aren't a part of the Windsor community coming on site and interacting with us, okay? Because again, the less risk for transmission. So we ask residents to try to do the same thing. The fewer deliveries you can have, whether it's shipped or Instacart, we've got residents that are ordering 2, 3, 4 times a week, right? So that's 2, 3, 4 interactions that we are having to have with the outside world, right? So 2, 3, 4 opportunities for transmission. Even though we're cleaning and wiping and doing everything right, we just never quite know. Same thing for Amazon, etc. I saw a picture today of how many Amazon orders are coming in. And again, I confessed last night to my couch shopping issues. And I'm really trying hard to practice what I preach. Making sure that if I need anything, my husband brought my diabetes supplies today as an example, and I made him bring them between 9 and 11 so that I was adhering to the same criteria as the residents. I'm really very much trying to be mindful of that. So as I'm sitting on Amazon thinking, oh, do I really need that? I'm really trying to be considerate and practice what I preach. And it's hard because I get bored, sometimes just sitting there late at night alone, and all of a sudden I need that air fryer or pants or what else? Fanny pack. That may have happened. I may not have been able to restrain myself. I have a lot of things these days that I'm carrying. But anyway, I get it. But please be mindful. Just pace yourself, okay? Just think every box that comes in, Marcus or Marcy or Glenn or Alex or Max, your beloved people, every time a box comes in, they have to interact with somebody. There's a chance during that interaction that they could be infected with COVID-19. And one, we don't want that personally for us, for our staff members. But two, beyond that, we don't want them then bringing that into the community. Okay, so be mindful of that. I'm trying hard. I'm an Amazon girl through and through, but I'm having to really try to refocus on that as well. So we covered the traffic pattern change again, that we're further out under the tent. So you'll note us out there. Let's see. I talked last time about the COVID-19 tracking visit. So any new move-ins we might have, anybody that goes out for appointments, anybody that goes out for non-essential reasons, will be in the club side having daily wellness visits by Nurse Linda to make sure that there's no temperature and that they will be conducting signs and symptom screenings. Pardon me. So that is that. Village and neighborhood side of the community, we have been screening all of our residents daily for those items, and that is just a requirement of the Agency for Healthcare Administration, so we have been very mindful of that. Let me see what else we've got here. Again, I mentioned this last night. I mentioned it again today because I have had a couple more residents reach out just about monthly payments. They want to make sure that they pay their bills on time, and we appreciate that so much. And some people don't want to come out of their apartment, and that is good work on their part. If you don't want to come out of your apartment, we appreciate that. Just give a call to the concierge or to Kathy at 916 or 931 for the concierge, and we would be happy to have somebody come and pick that up for you. Okay. Otherwise, if you are headed outside or to get your mail, you're also welcome to drop it in the mail slot outside of the business office. On the club side, there's a tan colored mailbox there you can slip it into, or on the village and neighborhood side by the mailroom there. There is also one. All right. We have also had a number of residents down today asking for assistance with their census submission. We are happy to do that. Tawana did it quite a few times today, but I have a favor to ask. I came around the corner a few times today, and there was Tawana and residents like right together at the desk, okay? So we want to help, but I think we should do it remotely. So if you need assistance, please do not hesitate to call the concierge at 931 and see if they're available at that moment or what time might be a good time to do it together, and they can log on and help go through that process with you, okay? I know that you're gonna need certain information. There's a number on the form, birth date, sex, all those kind of things that should be top of mind, that we can help get that done and print a copy of your submission. So we want to be helpful with that, but again, we don't want to do it putting anybody at risk. And again, our staff are coming and going. Residents are hunkered down. We don't want people side by side if they don't need to be. We got to keep that 6-foot radius. So why not call and do it over the phone? Okay, so thank you for that. Let's see, lastly, we still have a little bit of a challenge with sharing the shade. So just a note to folks that we've got some sun lovers and some shade lovers here. More shade lovers than sun lovers. I understand. I was outside for like 20 minutes this weekend and you can still see I'm feeling it. So I appreciate the shade. We've got a lot of residents here and a lot of residents are just yearning for sunshine and fresh air. And everybody's trying to get a chance outside. So please, again, we're trying to limit it to 4 people under the porte-cochere, okay? And that doesn't mean hang out on the very edge of the porte-cochere so it doesn't count. Please be mindful. Let's be good neighbors and spread out. Give everybody a chance. If you've been down there for 30 minutes, go take a break. Maybe head up to your apartment, or maybe move out into one of the areas on the sidewalks where the chairs are set up at the appropriate 6-foot distancing. But we are having a lot of people that are either coming down and not feeling comfortable coming out because the same people are out, or they aren't even trying to come out. So we want to make sure that everybody gets an opportunity to enjoy some fresh air and some shade or some sunshine, whatever they like. So we again hope and appreciate that everyone will be very neighborly when it comes to that. We are right about on day 20 of this fun and not much of an end in sight. So we gotta just find ways to work together and know that there is not one single individual at Windsor, in Celebration, in Florida, in the United States, in this hemisphere, in the world right now that isn't making some kind of sacrifice, okay? This is one of those, we are truly in it all together. It's hard to remember that. You know, I haven't left Windsor and I sometimes forget that it's not just here that's experiencing it, that there's this whole world out there that is facing these same issues. So unfortunately, we're all in it together and we all need to make sacrifices, and we're gonna be in tight quarters here in the community or in the small property that we have outside the community, and we need to, we just need to be good neighbors. We need to be patient, we need to be kind. That's residents to residents, residents to staff, staff to residents, staff to staff, staff to vendor, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All of us can be reminded of that now and again because it is a very stressful time. So I do want to mention, Cece, are you gonna post the webinar for people that are maybe having a little bit of a tougher time with the seclusion?
Elisa said?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be on the schedule for next
All
week.
right, so on the schedule for next week, and I think it's something I might watch. I think it's going to be very beneficial, something we will send out via email, as well as we can put it on the 2501, is a session just about coping with the stresses related to a situation like this. And again, we all are experiencing grief and loss and just tremendous stress and fear. And we're somewhat secluded from each other. And so, you know, looking for ways that we can help process this, we can cope with this. But we think we found a really great resource, and we will be putting it out there for those that are interested to enjoy. I encourage it. Can't hurt. Maybe pick up a tactic or two on how to process all this. Maybe think, oh, okay, it's not just me feeling that way. So we're looking forward to putting that out to everybody here in the next couple of days. But besides that, I think that is about all we have for tonight. Just checking my notes as I usually do. I think that is about it for the night. Well, stay home, stay safe. Let's save some lives. Let's work together. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow night on our next evening update. It is an Angie's Notes night. The notes are done. I am going to update them with the 6:30 Department of Health number, and then I will be running those and sending that email out. For those of you that don't have email or aren't on my distribution list, you will be getting your Angie's Notes with your breakfast tomorrow. Reminder, if you or friend or family would like to be on the distribution list for the Angie's Notes and the link for the update, oh boy. All right, so the numbers are in, but if anybody wants to be added to that list, please don't hesitate to reach out. Call, leave it with the concierge, any of the department heads. The more people we can get communication out to, the better. I've had a couple of misunderstandings over the last few days, and it's because people haven't seen the notes or the updates. We want to make sure that we are reaching as many people as possible and keeping everyone informed. That is a huge goal. That's why we're doing this. That's why you see my smiling face every night on these updates, so that everybody can be informed and comfortable and know that everything we're doing is in the name of your health and safety and the health and safety of our community. So, unfortunately, I'm going to end on a bad note. Oh my goodness. The cases are up to 9,008. So we saw another increase of, what were we at? 8,000 and... We were just over 8,000 cases as of 11:30 this morning. We are now at 9,008 cases. We were at 128 deaths, and we are now at 144. So that is the change in the last 7 hours, I guess. I'm trying to use Cece's computer, but it's a Mac, and I don't know how to scroll. Oh, here, I got it. 2 fingers. All right. So don't let this youthful face deceive you. I still don't know how to use Apple products. Let's see. All right, hold on. I just want to scroll as we're here together. On Orange County, up to 541 cases, and Osceola up to 170. And Osceola, sorry, I'm trying, but I am still not very graceful. I wanted to see, pardon me, still up 4 deaths. Okay, so 170 cases in Osceola County, so not a huge increase. That's 17 new cases since this morning. And again, in Orange County, just about 40 new cases in the last 7 hours. But overall, as a state, a about 1,000 cases since this morning, and I think that was like, it was already like a 300 or 400 increase from last night, 6:30. So I would guess we're somewhere between maybe 1,350 and 1,500 new cases in the last 24 hours. So that is not great. Again, further validates the need for what we're doing. I know some people probably out of the gates thought that this is a little much, Windsor's overreacting. We knew this was coming, and we know it's going to get worse before it gets better, and you continue to have our commitment to keep Windsor as safe as we possibly can for you and keep you healthy so that come May, you can hopefully reunite with your families and spend some amazing time together, making new memories and enjoying life. So thank you for your continued patience. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we are in this together, and I will look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. All right, good night, sleep well, and we will see you then.